All right, we're gonna do at a minimum 4 more hot seats, and we'll see how quickly we go. Maybe we'll do more. We're just gonna go with whatever happens. Cool. And the more we can get done, the more time you guys will have to do stuff and get more help. Okay, what do you need? I know how many in there. Oh yeah, that'd be awesome. I kind of moved it and then I moved it back. Okay. All right.
My dear, next level stuff.
Meaning?
So this year was good, but 2 things for sure that didn't work is doing it all, but I had to. And so I want to talk about ideal life because I want to build and I want to be very intentional next year, like not me just like chasing after stuff. It's kind of like Pac-Man. Like some days my business is like the ghost and I'm like chasing after it, and it's chasing me other days, and I just like I don't feel like
Ooh,
control.
good analogy. I understand that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Wow, no oranges.
Yeah.
No. Hit all the orange. Okay. So next level stuff. So what's working? That's not like I need a little bit more to know where you're stuck.
Yeah.
Like, so you know kind of what you want. So that's good.
My goal is to make $250,000 next year. Let's just get through it, which I think is totally possible. My pricing I'm congruent with, so then it's just about sales, which I'm.
But we just talked about your pricing. Since we just talked about it for 2 minutes before lunch, now you're congruent?
I'm congruent with what I'm charging. I don't think I need to charge more.
Is it how you're charging?
It's how I'm charging.
Okay, so let's just talk about, let's just say payment structure. So what would you like?
I want to be making $20,000 a month.
Okay, so you're collecting, so 20K
in my account.
Okay, but as far as feeling like, just turn off the radio, please. It's them.
I'll take care of
No. Well, you can. I mean, maybe you can ask them at the front. No. Mimi, you stay. You stay. That's what Ashley's paid the big bucks for.
Whoa.
You can stay, huh?
Okay.
Ashley can go. Can you ask them if they can see if they can turn the mic down slightly? Like, how big is that room? It's about this big. Like, you don't need the mic that high. It might be double, but I'm exaggerating. Perfect. Okay, it's a little different, but I can zone it out if I have to. All right, so so maybe this is something we'll talk about in a sec. Just making sure you're congruent with the payment structure. So what's basically happening, what she told me before the break, is that she's congruent with what she's charging. She's basically charging $4,500.
It's $4,500
now for her sister's program, but she's letting them stretch out the payments really, really long. But they're paying within the 6 months, right?
Yeah, when they go through the first program.
Okay, so like the first program, but the second program, it's more than 6 months?
There's like a gap of time between programs, I'll just say,
Okay, but by the end of the time, they're still paying. Okay, so it may not be an issue. I don't know that you necessarily have to change that, but I still like getting people paid up early just so it's not an issue.
Yeah.
So we can potentially shift that slightly. What I was saying is that if she's trying to make it work for them, that's great, except sometimes people will do more and actually be more motivated if it's a bigger stretch. So like it doesn't necessarily help them that she lets them like light a fire under their ass, like go make it happen. Like you have, like you told me that, like you're like, if I had to figure out the money and then I made the money, like so go make it happen, So maybe hold them to a higher standard. Okay, what else? What else? Let's define this. So next level means
I want to make more and I want to work less.
Okay, so so this is making more. What is working less? So how many hours, or what does your ideal life look like?
Monday through Friday.
Okay, but that means you're not doing seminars on weekends, or are you doing seminars on weekdays?
I don't know. Well, okay, so yeah, I don't know. Like what I do know is I've worked like 7 days a week for months.
Okay, so can we just say 5 days a week?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what you want? This is your life, not mine.
Yeah, 5 days a week would be great. 4 to 5, but realistically 5.
That's okay. We don't have to be realistic right now. 4 to 5 days a week. Okay. Cool.
And 2 weekends off a month. So I'll have conversations with 2 weekends.
You want to share your personal stuff, or you?
They pretty much know anything about it.
I wasn't gonna get into that, so they know it. Yeah. Okay, so 2 weekends a month off.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Like I can go away, take trips, whatever.
Cool.
Yeah. And
I have a travel partner right here. Jen?
Yeah. Let's take car. I'll be in Vegas in a month.
Cool. Okay.
And do work nights, it's like one night a week, like doing seminars or whatever. That would be ideal.
Okay, cool. Any other big things?
I mean, those are the biggest things. If I can figure out how to do this and this together, I think for me, it's just with the book coming out, like there's so much that I'm creating. I want to know that I can do what I need to focus on. That's gonna make this happen.
Cool.
And like,
So let's do that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, the main thing is like, if you want to create this life, it's just you have to make it non-negotiable.
Yeah.
So I mean, you guys know you're experiencing it. Like it's non-negotiable. I'm having a baby. Like I had to move my fed stuff around. Like he's coming out. I'm telling you, he's coming out. We like it. But I was able to do that, like, and it was really easy because I have the trust. I mean, you guys all trust me, and I thank you for that, and I appreciate the flexibility. But I also figured out a way to celebrate it, right? And like making it better. And how can I add? And also conscious of to make sure they still get the value.
Right.
So you can just like the big rocks, right? You guys remember the analogy? We put the big rocks. If you have big rocks, small rocks, pebbles, and sand, you don't start with sand, or you can't fit all the big rocks in there, right? So you got to do big rocks first. So a big rock would be your schedule. And just like having stuff, like literally having your schedule where you're just blocking out time. And if you're having your son, that's going to be easy to do because there's no way you're going to, that's not going to happen. You got to make sure you still make this money.
Right.
So, but the first step is to make sure you block off the time. Okay. Same thing with your sister's mentorships. Is like, if you're, I don't know how many days you're doing, if we need to like cut the days or make it chunk them together or put them on a weekday or whatever, but like, I was doing Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? That's why I call these weekends so often when they're not weekends. I'm used to it. But I changed that to Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So at least when I have my daughter, I at least have Sunday totally off, you know? So that's important. Other than that, here's the thing. If you guys let yourself work as much, I mean, if you're motivated and you're excited and you're passionate, you will never stop working, you know? Like, we just won't stop because we love it, and it's just, like, there's always more to do. You will never, ever get to a point where you're done, ever. It'll never be done. So it's like you can always fill that time. So you have to just be disciplined about, this is time, like, I'm not filling with work stuff, and it's got to be, you know, this is family stuff, and that's, like, we kind of have a luxury because we have Phoenix weekends and stuff, but, you know, sometimes I have to, like, yank my husband away from his computer all the time because he will work sometimes till 2 in the morning, like, just because, why not? Like, there's always shit to get done. He's never done. Like, if I say, well, honey, can you put those shelves back up in the baby room? And he's like, yes, along with the other, like, once I get all these other things done, like, it's like, oh yeah, and he always has to comment about all the other things he has to do. Like, I know you have a lot to do. I have a lot to do. We all have a lot to do. There's never an end. Right. So know that and don't expect it to end, but just about making priorities. So that means you got to delete some things that are not working, and then delegate things that need to still go. Right. Right. Okay. So how do we make that happen? Okay. So that's 20 grand a month. See, if we design it like
10 to 20. Like,
okay, so let's say minimum 20. All right. So that means you said on your form, like, or you said somewhere I saw five clients a month, right?
if I sell 5 sisters a month, then I'll,
Okay, let's talk about the payment structure first. Okay. So right now you're charging, so this is sisters, you're charging $4,500. What's the payment plan?
I haven't set one. I work with them individually, so I need to set one.
Can you believe the audacity of this chick? I was in Vegas doing this event, and she is up in my junk going, don't give them options, make them pay the deposit, and they have to pay it, but why are you giving them options? You give me options, why would you give them options? Why would you talk to them individually? Give them the payment plan, that's what they have to do. And I was like, you are so great, thank you, why am I being so stupid? And then you go and be this stupid. The ghost is coming after you. Oh my God, we gotta drink each other's Kool-Aid. Okay, so let's have a payment plan. No, I know, that's hilarious. I like it. Okay, let's now have a payment plan, a standard. Okay, and you gotta understand that if they can't do it, they can't do it. But here's what you can do: is you can make like let's do the main standard payment, but they can do options, meaning they have a longer extended payment if they do the next one or something, and you can extend it out, but they don't get to start if they haven't made certain payments.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think for your millennials is an appropriate amount for them to deposit to towards this program so that you know they're totally committed?
For sure, they could do 500. Okay, no, that stretch you 750 to 1,000.
Okay, so what is usually the time frame between when they make this payment and when they start the program?
Just depends. I have a few that will come on right before the program starts. Some will come on now. Like I have 2 strategy sessions next week. So
And then it starts right away?
it starts in February.
Okay, so I'm thinking, so let me show you what I do. It's easier for me to explain it. So right now, FEMM is 12.5. Okay, they have to make a $5,000 deposit. Okay,
So it's less than half.
yeah, less than half, because I want them committed, and this is a freaking elite program. Don't like go to do another program if you're not ready for this. Like I'm raising the bar. Most of you didn't have the money. You freaking figured it out. That's why you're here. That's why you're freaking awesome, right? So, and you told me that. Yes. So, but I know most people like maybe can't get that money like the second I make the offer. So you guys know I say what you have to do. You can split this up. You can do 1,000 today, and then you can do the rest within 10 business days. We have been very good about being strict about that, and it only happened once. One of your peeps in Vegas who actually paid a deposit and then didn't do it. I have done 500 at that event. Actually, I did 500. So when I lowered it when I was like in a room where it was, really, really tough for them. But typically this is what I do. Then, depending on what I've now done is what I say on my actual sheet. It says 4 payments times 1875. 1875, right? Yeah. But what I've done, because so many people now are coming in later because of this, and also because now I don't know, I guess I'm selling it differently in my mind too, because I'm not as anxious to fill it. But that what I've done is I say, if depending on the time frame, it could be 5 times, I think it's 1,500 is the same money, or 6 times 1,250. So depending on how much time they have, I let them stretch it. Then we have these benchmarks, okay? So until they've paid this, like once they've paid 5,000, then they get wrapped plus the coaching, group coaching, right? Once they've paid, they cannot come to the first event until they've paid $68.75 because it's 5,000 plus 1 payment. This is equals event. After they're on that, if it's just one ahead of time, then it's usually $18.75. But then they must be paid up. Is it by 3 months or 4 months? By 3 months. I have gotten burned, guys, by people who were like raving fans, and then they're like, "Oh, we're good. I think we got enough out of it right now."
Yeah.
Like, really? You owe me $7,000. Oh well. Burned. Okay, so I don't want you guys to get burned, and then they'll be more committed. What happens is if they're thinking about the money every month, they're thinking, is it really worth 2 calls? Like I have to pay $750. That means I'm paying $375 for each call. Like that's a lot. I can't even make that call, so I feel like I shouldn't have to pay it. Their brain starts to do the math, and it starts to calculate and think, okay, this isn't right. So if we copy that, let's just say copy that. Let's do 500 down. Let's actually do it like this. Let's say their deposit is 1,500. Okay. I don't know if I'm not doing the exact whatever. I'm just trying to see if this will work. This is just, and let's say they have to pay 500 today, and they have 10 business days to come up with a grant. Or you could do a month. What do you want to do? Do you think they can come up with 1,500 total in 2 weeks?
If I'm marketing the right person.
Do you want to market to the right person or the wrong person? Okay, that's working. Yeah. Okay, 10 days. Okay, cool. 10 business days, which is really 2 weeks, but it seems cooler to say it that way.
Or 30, yeah, 10, 15.
The only problem with if you do 30, now we gotta wait another month to get the next payment.
Right.
So and then I like to have them now. I used to do it like if they pay on the 5th, they pay on the 5th, but like it's so confusing and it's too much. So we just want money coming in the 1st and the 15th. So let's say 10 business days is on the 20th, then I won't charge them it's really 30 days plus the 10. I won't charge them till the 1st. I'm not going to charge them back. You know, sometimes if it's 2 days, we charge them on the 15th. But usually if it's much later, like a week later,
I'd rather do dates, you know, then I'll just charge you the 15th first from whatever.
that's what I mean. So like, let's say today, what's the date? 26, right? So they pay on 10/26. They pay 500. Okay, so no. First, now they got to pay this. So 10 business days. I do exact 10 business days. I look at the thing and I'm like, so today is Thursday. Yeah. So that's Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I usually look at a calendar. It's a lot easier than counting everything. But whatever that is, it's probably like 11, 10 or 11, 12. It doesn't matter. You get it. Yeah. So let's just say it's the 10th. Then they pay their 1,000. Then we would give them till 12/15 because it's closest to the 15th, right? And now they pay whatever's next. So now we have $3,000 left, right?
So it'd be 3 payments.
It's 3 payments of $1,000. We want them to do it in. So this is one option. So 1,000 times 3. If you think there's no way in hell they're going to do that, that's too hard. Then all we got to do is, let's say, not do this, and we say instead of 4,500, sorry, 4,500 is the payment. They got to put down 2,500. So the total is 2,500 deposit. Because we want them to owe less than they only owe $2,000, right? So now we can still say, you can either say, I would probably do 1,000 and 1,500, but you could do 500 and 2,000 if you want. Give them time to move money, but you tell them time to move money. I don't expect you to have it. I just signed up for a program. Now I'm in I've 100 times my income, basically. So like, I don't expect you necessarily have it. I expect you to find it because I'm holding the standard high for you. So if they do 2,500, then by this date they would owe. So we can actually do. So here's the thing that depends. This is why I say this, or this. If they're starting tomorrow, then you want to get them paid up, but know these numbers. Like how much do you want them paid before the event? How much do you want them paid before you give anything huge of value? Yeah. So like if you only have a week before the event, are you cool with them just paying 2,500 before the event? Is that enough? Yeah. Okay. So then this is your benchmark for equals event, right? So then depending on how many months they have, as long as they pay this deposit, really you can just do the same thing, like do the math and just say, so they owe 2,000. So they can do 500 times 4. If they can't come up with the money, then say, cool, to be in the Next Sisters program. And don't be afraid, like, it's really hard at the beginning. I know Suzanne's also filling programs. Like, it's really hard in the beginning to ever be like, do the next one, because like, it's just ridiculous. And they want the results now, so you want to get results now. So it shouldn't be the next one, but so expect them to come up with it, but also don't compromise to have them pay you longer just because, it's happening sooner. So this is kind of like if 4 months, or if at least 3 months out, you know what I mean? So that way, if 1 month out, right? We want them paid within 3 months. Okay, so you can figure out the rest?
Yeah.
I mean, if they're coming the day before, then they have to make 2 payments of $1,000.
Yeah.
And if not, you can do $750 or whatever.
Yeah,
okay.
Figure that out.
Another thing that is, I mentioned briefly to you, but just so you guys know, you're not the only ones that like have trouble with price, like raising their prices. Like I told you, this is how I incrementally did it. But still, I really believe this program should be $15,000. I think it's worth it. I think if people can come up with this, they probably can come up with 15, but it scares me. Like, I don't want to lose people, right? And I'm scared of that too. So Ashley and I were just talking about at lunch. I'm like, I already said I got to raise my prices as of January. So like, I got to raise them. I'm like, okay, well, what can I do? I don't feel comfortable. I feel too scared to raise it to 15,000 in January because I'm afraid I'm going to lose people. I have the same fears, right? So I'm like, I can definitely do 13,500. So I can do 1,000 more. So now what I'm going to do is the payment plan is going to be 13,500, and then the pay in full is going to be 12,500. And I feel congruent with that, and I feel cool. Now what I've done is like with wrap is like really, some of you know this, but really stretching out. Some people are joining in March and they're getting wrap for, I just give 2 months of coaching. But I'm like, if they want, I'm like, just start 2 months on your own with wrap and then do 2 months coaching. Now it's 4 months, and then you have 6 months in FEMM. You can basically make this a 10-month program, So I'm trying to let them see that they can stretch it out. So what we decided at lunch that I'm congruent with is that what I'm going to do right now, I have FEMM Plus, and that's like 18, whatever. Hardly anyone does this anymore. I have one. Yeah. You're my
pay that, but.
Oh, because you paid in full. So the pay in full was $16,500. So this is the payment plan, and then pay in full was $16,500. But then you joined the mastermind because it was stupid not to, because it was like, dude, I'm gonna get more, way more, for twice as much. I'm gonna join them again anyway, like all of you will do, obviously. Boom. Yes, see, guys. And so it just made sense. But anyway, that's my option. But very few people do that. Like it's just you guys. Oh, the Jen's in it too. Okay, so then I right now have FEMM Accelerator. All right, and that's been 12.5. So I'm saying, okay, well, I was gonna just do that as 13.5, but I thought, you know what, like, I only give them 2 months of wrap, like as the coaching, but if, like, it doesn't hurt me much if they came for 4 months. So I'm gonna make this one 4 months of coaching, instead of 2, this one 2 months. I'll probably keep this accelerator. I'll call this something else, maybe like I said, like a booster or something, or burst or whatever. And I can charge 13.5 for this as a payment plan, 14.5 for that. And now in my head, I feel good because I just raised my price to almost 15 grand, but I gave them something of value, so I feel like it's a great win. I feel congruent with it, and I just had to add value in order for me to feel congruent to getting my prices almost to 15 grand. And then to go from 14.5 to 15 grand will be really easy. And we'll just see what happens. Maybe everyone's gonna still go for this. But what happened was when I originally did this, I had FEMM Accelerator and FEMM Plus, and then FEMM was just 10, and then some people paid, it was only an extra $1,000 at one point. Some people paid an extra $1,000 to go into wrap, and then 90% of the people did that. So I'm like, why should I even let them not? Because they're gonna be more successful with wrap. Okay, so I'm telling you this because you can build a third tier where you can see where they let them self-select, but how can you add more value of something that ideally doesn't take more time? For me, I already am doing these 2 wrap calls, so I don't know what you're already doing, but I would look at that. Wrap, if you get it on your own, is 3,500. So wrap alone, and I just had 2 people. It comes with 1 one-on-one, 1 business building session, and 4 group coaching calls, so 2 months of coaching. And I just had 2 people sign up for that. I'm not even trying to sell it because I think they should do FEMM, but 3,500, all you gotta do is show up for 1 call, and pretty awesome. Okay, so you can figure that out as far as the payment plan. We're gonna go a few more minutes to make sure that was not enough that you need. So, are you concerned about activities?
I need to focus on, so I know what makes me money, and that's being in front of people. And sound. So those are the 2 things that I'm really good at, and if I do them more, so more discovery calls and more out in front of people. Everything else is like writing the book is important, that kind of stuff, but it drains me so much, which I'll get it done for sure. But I hired an assistant to do social media and
Cool.
other
Okay, so tell me where you're stuck so I know how to help you.
One is driving. I want to be working from home mostly.
Okay, I got a one for you. Hold on.
I know.
Stop it!
I'm never meeting you at your office again.
Stop
For
it!
your own
Stop
good.
it! Stop it! You guys have seen that video, right? Stop it! Just stop it!
Yeah.
Okay, stop. That's not an option. Okay? Yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna get it for you.
Baby!
My massage therapist just told me
Catch it.
basically like
Hike it to me.
pooped out her baby out of her vagina, but like she basically was like, I went to the bathroom, I thought I had to poop, and she's like, and I was on the toilet, and she's like, we have squat toilets, which is interesting, and so she's like, and then literally I like went to poop, and then she's like, ah! I'm like, I hope I have a poopy birth, like, you know,
Was that her first baby?
her second. That's
Hilarious.
yeah, and her first was like really intense labor.
Anyways, I don't mind seeing clients in person.
Yes.
I just want them to come to me wherever
Cool.
I am.
So this is seriously, never again.
Or we have this conversation.
No. I don't care how many times we have to have it. That's not be silly. It's fine. Never again meet with clients away from home or office. Yeah. So what my transition was because I made that exact transition. I used to go meet people, and then I was like, there's no freaking way. I don't have time. There's no way. And so I just say, first of all, I celebrate it. I'm like, this way you don't have, like, if I try to do like a video, and I said, let's just get on video, because it was instead of phone, like my transition was go to a video. So let's just jump on Skype. That way we can see each other, and then it's really easy because this is how I say it, is that instead of spending the hour and a half part of that time driving, I spend the whole hour and a half with you. So if they're paying for an hour session, or you're telling them it's an hour, it's an hour and a half, I said instead of spending the time driving, I spend that whole time working with you. So we can do it on video, we can do it on the phone. If you want to drive and come meet me and make sure you get the full amount of time, no problem. And I used to go to like just a whatever cafe or something and meet with them. What was it called? I was trying to think of it. Oh, Grand Lux. So we met at Grand Lux Cafe. So it wasn't that long ago. 2 years ago, I met her at Grand Lux Cafe, which is 2 minutes from my house. And she came to me. She had to drive, 15 minutes? Not very far, but 15 minutes. But I wasn't going to her, and it was no big issue. So just no more. Okay?
Yeah.
Do you have any coming up?
No, not in, well, mostly phone.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. How much time will that save you per week? Like, how many are you doing now?
I drive so much right now.
We know. We've seen it.
So with commuting and school and all of that, like I just need to be able to get to where I am and stay there and get shit done before I have to go pick up Connor. That's the biggest thing for me.
Okay, so then do you need to go, like, have a place to go after you drop off Connor that's over there and you stay there all day? Like, do you need to get an office by Connor's school? Okay.
The commuting is a big part of it. I think mostly the biggest shift for me, like next level stuff, is that like my mindset has to be there. I'm not for business. I have to they have to remain.
It's just, so now it's just not an option.
It's not.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because never again will I meet with clients. It's just not an option. Oh, can I meet with you in person? Absolutely. If you want to come to me, you can. What time? Awesome. This is where I'll be. You can come meet me. I don't want to spend time. What's that?
The assistant should make it so much easier.
Yeah. She won't let you do that if she's booking your appointments. Yeah. It's just not an option. Okay, so we got that. So how many hours are you going to save a week about by doing this? By not ever meeting with clients again, on average. I want you to recognize it so you see 5 hours. Okay. What can you do in 5 hours a week? Right now, it's going to help make you money.
Strategy sessions, discovery calls.
Okay.
Videos,
If you had 5 extra hours, do money-making activities, how much more money do you think you could make a month?
I don't know, 10,000?
Okay. Dude. Stop it. Okay, I think we established that. Anything else?
I mean, there's so much more.
Give me a few more just to make sure. We don't have time, but we always have time.
Outside of the business activities, when the book drops, like I'm already getting like I've got people coming at me from all over the place about opportunities and like do this, I want you here. So what should I like? What do I say yes to and what do I say no to?
Okay, great. So recently I was asked to go speak at what was the second one? NAFA, National Association of Insurance and Financial Advisors or something like that, right? It's more of a lobbyist political thing, but it's like it's basically you think in my target market. And so first, like I just kind of said, yeah, sure, like because they actually asked me to fly up or to come to do a really small one, and I had Ashley find out how many people are going to be there, whatever. It was really small. And I was like, I'm not flying up like this, like at this time, but maybe you're, bigger conference. So they said, we're having a bigger conference in April. And so I was like, great. And then I just assumed, okay, that's going to be awesome. Then I sent them the one sheet, and it was geared towards women, and they're like, oh, can you change this because 80% of the people are going to be men? And I'm like, shit, I better jump on a call with this woman. Like I'm totally don't even know what's going on. So I jumped on a call, and because I just kind of said yes, because I'm used to saying yes, because I think everything is good, and especially I thought I was in the industry I wanted to do. So then I called her and I said, hey, I want to understand, what more about this, so who's going to be there, how many people are going to be there. She said probably about 50, did she tell me? Yeah. Which means 25, 80% of whom are men, and then and I'm like, oh, great, what's the speaker fee? Nothing, and I'm in Florida. We'll cover your travel expenses. And I'm like, okay, I'll think about that, but it might be a no because I also realize it's March or April. I'll be nursing, and hell, I'm gonna fucking do that. So I said no, thank you. So So I said no. So it's great to say yes to everything, but at this stage, like you gotta like really covet your time. And I did say yes. I'm doing a keynote next week, and that there was no speaker fee, and I got $1,000 anyway as an honorarium, and then they're paying for my travels. That was worth it. Plus, it's mostly women and whatever. And I'm not haven't had a baby yet, so I'm cool.
You gonna record that?
I'll record it. I will never show anyone.
You
I thought about recording it. Yeah, no, of course. Yeah, I'll record it. Okay, so the questions, I mean, basically you got to, like, any opportunities. So opportunities, now you gotta start asking questions. Okay, and what you're really trying to determine is ideal client. Is this my ideal client? Okay, or is it gonna be big exposure? Okay, I need more photos of me in front of big rooms. By more, I mean more than one, because I have 0. I haven't done a lot of big speaking engagements. Everything's been small that I've mostly run. I've done some small things, maybe 50 to 100, very like small things. One of the things my coach said, like you need a reel and you need bigger speaking engagements. So if I have an opportunity to speak at even NAFA, which I don't think is my ideal, but it's at a big conference where there are 3,000 people there, even if they're mostly men, I'll probably say yes. Okay, it's for branding. So if it's big exposure and for branding, you can say yes, even if it's not always your target market. But you've got to make sure to get really good photos and capture good video of it so you can repurpose it. I was potentially going to get like a professional video done next week because I thought, oh, can I also bring in whatever? And then I realized, am I really going to use this? Like probably not. So I decided it's probably not the best. But so ideal client, big exposure, always ask for money. I'm willing to do it if I don't make money, but like they were going to pay me nothing, now I get $1,000, and I'll probably get clients, and they're paying me to go speak, you know. So that's awesome. So always ask, like, so is there what's the budget? What am I going to get? And at least you're asking. That means you're at a higher level, so it raises credibility. You need to know, like, well, who's going to be there? How many people? So the number of people, and then cut it in half, especially if it's a free event. If it's a paid event, you might be okay. Number of people, and then just decide, like, do I want to go speak at this event where there's 7 people, they say there's going to be 14 or something, and it's not my good client? No, just say no. That's awesome that you're in high demand. Yeah, start saying no, but then start seeking out. I would say, you really need to look for opportunities with your book, where you can actually get in front of the right client. Or big exposure. I mean, even just did it at Barnes & Noble, just to say that you can go speak at Barnes & Noble to do your book launch is cool, you know? Okay, any other last minute ones? I know there's a lot, but you'll have more time to ask me.
Just in
Fire them off,
where do
we
I
got
invest my money? Because now I just have so
okay, where, give me the
quick
big things.
Spent money for the magazine.
So we'll obviously stop doing FEMM. Hilarious. Okay, seriously. No. Where? Go ahead.
I just spent money to be in the magazine, but I think it's gonna. If I get 2 clients out of that, I'll see an ROI. So I'm always like, well, I get ROI.
It cost you $9,000?
No. Like even just if I sell 2 strategy sessions.
Uh-oh.
Like that.
I was like, holy shit.
No, I wouldn't.
That's an expensive magazine.
I know it's been a big expense, so that's gonna go away. You know, like that won't be reoccurring. So I feel like I've been where I have been spending money. Has been strategic.
I would always go with this rule. I mean, right now you have, look, this is not just to promote myself. You guys are already in. But mentor, this is my rule, okay? Assistant, okay, marketing.
And the book is part of marketing.
Yeah, the book is totally marketing. That's your most powerful marketing tool. So you kind of went like this, that's fine. But that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, so then everything else, like who just asked me, Raquel,
yes.
You asked me about should I invest $250 in
yes.
speaking engagement. I said, if it's your ideal client and if you learn to freaking convert, don't do it if you're not going to spend time learning to convert because like then you spend $250 and don't get any clients. So, but she had to think about, is that a good investment? And you can always ask me on WhatsApp every time you want to spend money, but I'm looking for ROI. I should get an ROI on a mentor or don't fucking do it. I should get an ROI on an assistant or don't freaking do it. And I should get an ROI on marketing or don't freaking do it. But sometimes it takes time to build. I mean, we invested a lot of money, like $5,500 a month in LinkedIn marketing. It took a few months, before it started to like pay back. Facebook took a while, but then start making say 5-6 figure months, it's pretty much paying for itself, you know.
Yeah, it's kind of like I'm holding on. Like I'm in that slingshot and I'm just putting and infusing money into places, and I know it's gonna pay off, but it's like
Just be okay with it, because you're basically taking what most people might do in 10 years and trying to do it in a year and a half. Like, it's just like, you gotta take big risks to do that. So like, be willing to, like, you're going, yeah, cash flow kind of sucks. I mean, I've been there. Bree's been there, you know, like, you guys hear all these stories, these guys are making so much money, but then it's like, in order to get to the next level, they gotta freaking spend money. And it's like, next level stuff is investing more. It's scary as shit, because you're like, what the hell? If I just didn't invest, then I can just stay where I am and still pocket a lot of this money, except then you're not going to grow. So I feel like the biggest thing for me was like, when I had a mentor, I didn't have an assistant, but I was already really good at what I delivered as far as at the time money coaching. Then I invested in marketing because I could sell. And then I got people in front of me and I just killed it. Right? I did a talk, made 35 grand. You know, we did LinkedIn stuff, I doubled my money. Like, I just started throwing money. Now I just throw so much money in marketing, so I don't have time. So I told these like Facebook guys, I'm like, whatever, just, I don't care how much money I spend as long as I keep getting an ROI. But now I know I have to track it. I got to look at it. I got to see that it's ROI. And if it's not, I'm done.
yeah, that's what we'll do this weekend.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. Give her a hand. Questions?
I was just surprised that you had to pay to be in the magazine. I thought that, or maybe I'm so out of
You
it.
have to pay for everything.
I'll pay for everything.
I know that I would not have been asked by them if they didn't notice me and they like didn't see me as someone worthy of being in the magazine, but I still had to pay.
You guys want to know a secret?
Yeah.
I had to pay to be in that freaking movie. I was asked to be the expert. Oh yeah, 15 grand. Okay.
I didn't say this to you in the group
Yeah.
on WhatsApp, but I spoke to Lisa.
Yeah.
And this radio station, it's a talk radio online here, international. It's called transformationradio.net. With this host, Dr. Pat Pelosi. They reached out to me, but and I spoke to them, but they wanted to buy airtime in order to have my own show and to co-host with them, and then they'll market it to their audience. And I'm like,
You got to find out what's the, you know, audience, how big is the audience, like, because it's hard to find sometimes. They don't tell you that stuff. It's like, well, how many people are, my friggin' publicist, I'm quoting it because I basically fired her, but then she's now doing like pay per project, because it's sure, you can still throw me things, I'll pay you if you get me stuff, but like, we do not connect. Let me fire you. We don't connect. You keep getting mad at me. Stop it. Stop. This isn't working. Seriously.
She won't leave you.
Yeah, so now I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. Just tell me if there's stuff coming up. So this week, and it's been a really busy week, and we had them 2 weeks ago, so it's just been really crazy. And she said, oh, I have this great opportunity for a local magazine. I got to pay, I think it's $150, like, for her to book me for like, each of these have different prices now, which is fine, which is not a big deal. I would pay $150 to be in a magazine. I said, but what's the magazine? And she said, it's like a women's magazine. And then it turns out it's a women's magazine, a local magazine in Denver. Like, what's the readership? Like, she didn't even know the numbers and all this stuff. Like, and I looked at it, she's like, oh, I think this is going to be so great for your exposure, da-da-da-da. Of course you think that. And the questions are, like, something about, like, what would you, like, how do corporate women move up, you know, the corporate ladder or something. And then it's like, how to raise your prices or get a promotion, not even raise your prices, like, get a promotion. And I'm like, I looked at that and I'm like, that's not on brand. Like, I don't really care to do that. Like, $150, I'd probably do it if I had time and it was just so easy for me to say, here's what I would say. There was also no guarantee that I would get the spot. And so I just told her, and then I forgot because I was supposed to get it to her like Tuesday, and I was so busy with my webinar and then this and that. And I was like, oh, I remembered it like midnight last night. I'm like, so I forgot. And she wrote back and she's like, well, I think you should still do it. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to say no. Like, it's not on brand. Plus, I don't have time. It's not coming to me. If it was just like, like something I'm used to, I would do it, but like, it just doesn't make sense. And then she like writes back like, it is on brand, but I'm not going to talk to you about that right now. I'm not going to get into that discussion. I'm like, get away from me. So I feel good. Just the more I say no.
I just have a comment about coaching, not in person. I've had a life coach since 2000 off and on, and we've only met in person once. My coach, this coach actually prefers, a lot of coaches do, not having face-to-face because they feel like their clients will tell them more. So it could be a huge opportunity. Actually, she finds that people are more censored when they're in person.
I think the word of the year for
Not
me is
even Zoom,
boundaries.
not even face to face.
Boundaries.
Yeah.
Cool. Tattoo it on your forehead backwards when you look in the mirror. You see it. And maybe watch this video every day. Okay. Are you guys need a break or should we just go to one more for a break?
Bathroom break?
I can use a break.
Okay, let's do it then. Quick break, but be quick.
Here?
We're gonna hammer these out. This is hardcoreness.